I'm Gareth Duncan, 31 years old from Kales River, and I'm a youth entrepreneur. I'm involved in marketing, tailored suits, fashion, craft beer of all things. So I'm in a wide range of industries and a few creative projects that keeps me going and busy, and I wouldn't want it anywhere else. So I was inspired to get into tailored suits through a serendipitous moment in Thailand. I had my first overseas holiday, and on the corner of my hotel there was a tailor, and I walked past him every time he tried to get me into the store, buy one of the suits on sale there. And on the third day I eventually go in just to give him that satisfaction that I'm coming in and checking it out. Go in, he measures me, I choose the fabric, I choose the lining and the way it must be finished, and then I'm motivated to take it. And when I put that blazer on for the first time, I realized I love this experience. I'm a short guy, my sleeve is always too long, or my pants is always too long. So to have something made for me and fitted from the day one, that was a lovely experience that inspired me to look more into the business coming home. And when I came back to Cape Town, I realized tailor suits were either overpriced and very expensive, or they were cheap and bad quality. So I started GD Suits on the premise that there's a middle ground here. There's ways that you can give a tailored suit product to all walks of life at a very affordable rate, but still maintaining that good quality. And that kind of set me out from the start. Then I got into tailored suits. The wedding game was a big industry to get into. 80% of my suits are wedding suits, and I love making that sentimental occasion very special for the client, accommodating their needs, their wants, and making sure that comes from an idea to life. I do women's suits as well. I always laugh that women are very particular in what they want, and they come with a different body dynamic, but I love creating that unique piece for them, and they wear that with more pride. Guys tend to wear the suit for the special day, and that's it, you know. With a woman, they wear it every day, and they love to set a fashion statement wherever they go. So being able to work with women and men as well, it's been a great experience, offering fashion items without a fashion background, pushing boundaries, creating cool designs that are going to be memorable in the long run. That's something that I love doing.
Good. We ready for action?
Alright man, sorry. Did I put on the dress for the occasion?
Yes, sis meneer, dit is om 'n hele outfit change.
It's not every day that we get to do an interview in the
space,
so
bro.
we dress for the special
Maar check
occasions,
hem ook op my ook op baie, check hem ons nog gesê
We
het.
spoke about that. I saw your green suit.
Jullie sien dit?
So I want to be part of that next time, okay?
Asseblief, thank you so much for joining us, Gareth.
Nah, it's
I
always a
mean,
pleasure.
it's always cool to speak to people that started and created their own business. Everyone watching, it is a Walk with Mel. I'm your host Mel, and today we're hanging out with Gareth Duncan, an entrepreneur who is breaking boundaries and giving hope at the same time. So yes, man, I'm like I said, it's always cool to see people doing their own thing, but I like to take it back to how things started. Before we get into the serious stuff, what would you say is 5 things you can't live without?
Wow, okay, so I gotta factor in what my friends and family are gonna think about this answer, because they all have their perceptions based on what they see. So I can't live without working. I love doing creative projects. So just the flow and momentum of business and being involved, adding value, seeing things grow, that's something I enjoy. There are a few entertainment things. I love going out with people, enjoying the good memories, and I think that's what I've lived to appreciate more than the material things. Going out, creating memories, enjoying good things.
Wow.
I'm an avid poker player. I love playing poker.
Really?
I travel up to Joburg twice a year to go play poker, so that's an interesting fact.
That's dope.
I see it more as a sport. Some people just see it as a card game. I enjoy the strategy behind the game.
Yes.
Picking up on tells, making the correct calls when it's very difficult to do so. 5 is a lot. Sorry.
5 is that's dope though, because some people say like, yo, 5 is so little, but then if it's 3 is
think
good
about
enough.
it. 3 summarized all of it, but I mean, I think what I want to do that I can't live without is passing on my knowledge and experience. So that is a legacy I would love to leave behind. When I entered the entrepreneurship game, there was no one immediately in my circle who could give me advice or the foresight of what I could experience. So I really want to play that role for many others as they come through. I think we're living in a generation now where people are more ambitious and they're more confident to take that step forward, but they don't have the knowledge or the practical experience of achieving those dreams.
Wow.
So I think passing on that knowledge is something I won't be able to live without one day.
Wow.
Although I'm just feeling I'm at the beginning of my journey, I'd love to add value wherever possible.
Beautiful.
So that's one thing I can't live without. And then creating dope suits. I think that's the one thing. I'm involved in several things, but I love the feedback. I mean, I will never forget one of the first tailored suits I did, and the reaction of the client in the mirror, that smile, that confidence
It
he
makes you
gained.
feel so
It's something that just
it's money
motivated
can't
me.
buy also.
100%. It's a sentimental exchange that you can't put a price to every time.
Well
so
said.
I love doing that. So those are the
Lekker
5
man.
things that you summarize it up.
I like that. And then tell me, Gareth, who were you growing up?
Ah.
Were you a cool kid? Were you a nerd? And you need to be honest now.
I'll be honest. I think I was a guy that fitted in every circle, and I'll be honest with that. I chilled with the cool kids,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I played Pokemon cards with the nerds, or played
Gotta catch 'em all.
FIFA sessions all weekend. I just enjoyed fitting in with a lot of people, and I think that helps me relate to a lot of people. In this industry, I get to meet different kinds of people. Some who are very over the top, some people are very reserved.
But you can fit into any.
100%, and that's something also I had to learn along the way. Be able to create that bond with a person or with a stranger. I was very introverted when I first entered the industry. So with time, exchanging or having different experience with people, it's helped me open up a bit more. So, and I think that bond and that relationship you create with a stranger sets the tone for the relationship going forward.
To keep that relationship, because that's very important when it comes to business. I want to speak about you eventually going into journalism.
Yes.
Because I mean, I would have thought you probably studied business, but you went into journalism.
Yeah, that was an interesting part of my life, matric, and I remember the pressure of picking a career
have to
because
choose.
this is going to set the rest of your life. It was between law, which my dad did. Acting was an option.
Really? But you
Surprisingly.
hated what?
Yeah, I was inspired by Ziggy on Backstage. I wanted to be that, but yeah. So I went with journalism because I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed literature, and my mom was an English teacher, so she always cracked the whip on me for English comprehension and stuff. So I enjoyed that. So I thought, look, law takes a long time before you get to some place, and I didn't want to waste all those years building my fundamentals. I wanted something quicker, and I thought journalism was a route to that. And look where it's ended up in business.
Amazing. Amazing. And tell us about the day that you decided, listen, I'm going to make the switch into business.
So I was very fortunate in my career. I worked out. I arrived at the office at 6 when I was only required to come in at 9, and I left 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I really used the opportunity to soak up, and I got to travel because sports happens all over
With
the
journalism,
world. I went to Team South Africa to various events. I went to Joburg, Durban, PE for the big sports events, witnessing history as it happened. I lived most guys' dreams, for that 4 years. And one thing I realized with traveling, it broadens your horizons. You see how things work overseas.
True.
You see how things work in other cities.
It opens up your mind.
100%. You see things that you wouldn't necessarily see if you stayed at home. So that inspired me to think bigger, look bigger. I came back to the office, realized what the bosses were making off the workforce.
Yeah.
And that kind of motivated me collectively to jump into my own thing. I thought I could achieve more doing so. And to be honest, I think the naiveness of my youthful mind at the time kind of was an important part of that.
Have you guts to just go for it?
100%. My parents backed me. That's also a very
That's so
important part.
dope.
They just invested into my studies. So to tell them, look, thanks for the past 3 years, but I'm going to something new and not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That was a very difficult support time for them to give me. So I appreciate that. And so that confidence and that backing just set the tone.
And then what did you start first? Like what was the first thing that you started
So
with?
like I said, my blinkers were on and my mind was very small at the time, although I was taking on a big chapter in my life. I wanted to do an online magazine.
Okay.
Coming from the publishing background, I saw the
Makes
digital
sense.
wave coming. And started my own online magazine, Cape Town lately.
Lekker.
I wanted to do this and that and feature this and motivating people to buy into the magazine. And the first month was good. I had that spirited edge, and then started people not getting always the positive reaction. That also dented my confidence along the way. So by month 3, it was a bit of a struggle, I'll be honest with you. But that's when something very important in my life happened. I had a job opportunity that came my way, and I turned them into my very first client. And that process was critical in establishing and realizing maybe they didn't want to buy the magazine or read the magazine, but they wanted to buy into my services.
But things had to happen the way
it did.
So you went for an interview to get a job there.
So they were headhunting me, to give you more context. They headhunted me for a role within the company. And I went to the interview and I said, guys, look, I'm here for the opportunity, but would you be open to exploring me as a service provider instead of an employee? And they gave me a weird look at first, but they then said, okay, we'll give you a 3-month probation. You're here 3 times a week, you do this, this and this. And based on that, I got a long-term contract, and they were my client for 24 months, which set a great foundation for me to build and reinvest. And yeah, so
and that's how GD Industries
that's
was.
how GD Industries. I realized, forget the online magazine, do marketing services for people because they're willing to pay for those services.
Amazing.
It's all about viability and spotting the opportunity and not being stubborn to divert off the original plan. You got to make sure that whatever you're willing to do gets a return. So
well said.
It was just restructuring. There wasn't really a complete.
It wasn't changing. It was just and it's also using what you have at that moment. And then what do you guys do? What does GD?
So GD Industries, I call it a small business builder.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a brand development company. So a lot of my clients, especially my long-term clients, started with an idea or an ambition that they couldn't kind of build themselves. So I come in, I spot their strengths, I spot their weaknesses, and we build on a strategy to build that business.
Okay.
Either from idea to small business or informal business, and then take that small business into a bigger business.
Sure.
So I got a lot of clients to look back to and be proud of.
That's so dope. That's so cool. And then the suits thing happened.
Yes.
So fresh. I love it. It's stylish.
So that was a serendipitous moment for me. My marketing company grew and I was able to afford different things, and I went on my first international holiday to Thailand.
Sisa.
And in the hotel, walking past this corner, there was a tailor right there.
Okay.
Right? And I'm walking past every day. It's like every day he's trying to get me in, come in. I know the hassle in Thailand.
Yeah, shame.
So I eventually go in on the third day just to see, okay, what is this all about?
Yeah.
The guy measures me, I get to pick a material, I get to choose the lining, the way it's styled, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's see how this goes. And the first time I put the blazer on was like, okay, I'm having my clothes tied. I'm a short mannequin.
Yeah,
so the sleeves never fit, and the length of the pants never fit. And to have something made for you just gives you that
Het
extra
voelt
boost.
veel beetje, ja, dat je goed voelt.
100%. There was no awkward feeling of buying clothes anymore. It was made for you.
Wow.
And I came back from the Thailand holiday thinking, I want to get into this business somehow. So I started knocking on doors, and I realized very quickly that Cape Town had a situation where tailor suits were either very expensive and overpriced,
Dit dink jy is as 'n opsie nie.
or they're very cheap but not good quality, not what you want. So I thought, okay, GD suits, gonna put my name on it, and I'm gonna try and see how this things goes. And the disappointing thing was a lot of the older tailors closed their door on me because they didn't want to share the business, right? But I eventually met the right people, and my business partner in production came on board with me and said he gave me an opportunity. I brought in the business, and we grew from there. You know?
Wow.
So having his mentorship, having his insight to helping me with the vision, and I came with extravagant ideas. I mean, look at the blazer I'm wearing now.
Yeah, it's mad.
Green suits were never a thing in weddings 4 years ago. I feel like I brought that into the industry.
I see. I was going to ask you, what do you think makes you different? But it is that
I pushed the boundary. I don't come from a fashion background, so I don't have that boxed mindset. Oh, this works or this is the trend. I want to do crazy stuff.
I know what you mean.
And I want to accommodate people's ideas. If they have a dream suit, why not create it like that? Why push them? No, you need to do like this because this color goes with that color. There's no textbook answer to everything. You need to be able to open the door for people to get what they want. So,
and then what inspires your looks?
So what inspires the looks of the suits?
Yeah.
I like a conversation piece. So if I go to an event or I'm standing in line at the shop, you will find me in a pattern blazer, whether it's check or golden or whatever the case is. And most people kind of tell me nice suit or nice blazer, and I tend to say, do you want one? That's my buy-in look. So that's how I meet. I network with different people. The suits become a conversation piece, and that kind of inspires them or proves them the quality of my suits.
Amazing.
So yeah, my prices are very wide range. That also opens the door.
You cater for everyone.
100%, starting at 3,950, which is a very good price for a tailored suit, all the way up to 9,000 for the more high-end clients. I get to meet people of all walks of life, different communities. People drive as far from George, Vredenburg. It's crazy. Sometimes I drove to George the other day for a wedding, and I realized this client drove 4 hours to have a GD suit made. And
how incredible.
That is a home feeling that is priceless.
And it's the way it started was just, it's the most random. It's like you had to be in Thailand in order for this to happen.
100%.
Tell me, when you started out, did you have a lot of people working for you?
No,
did you have to do everything yourself?
I was the hustle myself. I didn't even have my own store when I started out. Went door to door, and then eventually I could afford the office space, you know. And all I had when I moved in here was a small table and a couch over there, and without the mirror, even clients that could change in the bathroom. It was so
Keep
informal.
it real.
But in time you grow from a certain point, and people sometimes need to be humble and be willing to start underneath the breadline to grow surpass it. So
Sure. And did you have to have capital, obviously, starting out?
look, you
to
sometimes
plan
you,
it?
you have to invest into certain things, but there's always a way to bootstrap ideas. So what's different with regards to me and other tailors, a lot of tailors buy materials in bulk. So if you're coming for a shade of blue that you're looking for, it's what they have, or sorry, we can't help you.
Yes.
So I like to offer clients a wide range of samples, and based on that they can choose the color they want. So I'm more adaptable to the client's needs than most tailors.
Amazing. That is incredible, Gareth. We are hanging out here in the space. It's such an honor to be in this space, people. It is a walk with Mel. We're taking a quick break and we'll be back right after this. Back people, it is a walk with Mel. Vandaag gaat ons 'n lekker loopie met Gareth. Hy deel so lekker met sy information oor sy businesses and the business ventures that you're going into. And it's so cool how it just fell into place for you, man.
100%. You question sometimes, you know, when these things happen and just fall into place or click with each other. I think there is, you got to embrace the opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of people overlook it or miss the opportunity because they don't grasp it, you know, or make full use of it. So it gets better with experience, but I say go for the lower hanging fruits and make your way up the tree.
Stunning. I want to ask you, what is your vision? As an entrepreneur, what is your vision?
I get my big criticism from some people was that I'm too busy or take on too much, and the value I bring will be diluted across the board. But that's just the person I am. I love adding value to various projects. I love just gaining experience. Sometimes I join a project that's not necessarily successful in the long run, but I know the value of the lessons I learn along the way will put me in a better position if I ever enter that industry again.
Slim.
So there's a lot of things that I'm willing to give for free or for a lower cost just for the opportunity to learn.
I know what you mean. It's about the bigger picture. Well, I want to actually ask you about that because as entrepreneurs, obviously you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
But what challenges did you face?
Okay, so...
And how did you overcome it?
It's the lack of understanding or knowledge in business. So I like to say I informally started my business career in 2013 and I actually formally started in 2015.
I see what you mean, because you were still finding...
100%. Well, when I hit my first big client, they said, okay, where's your business registration documents? And I was like, what? Do I need to register my business?
I didn't know this.
I have an accountant to make sure your books and your tax stuff is in place. The financial literacy on how to manage cash flow. Like 1 month the money will be there, and the next month the money won't, and understanding why those dynamics are happening. So I was very fortunate enough to have various mentors in various ways to give me some guidance and advice. But the biggest lessons I learned were mistakes, failures, bumping my own head. I always say proudly that I probably failed more than I've achieved success, but people only see the success. They only see the good times and the bright lights.
They don't see the sacrifices.
They say you are overnight success. Meanwhile, you've been doing this for 6 years and knocking on locked doors along the way, you know. So I'm very proud of the lessons I learned along the way, and that's why it's important to pass on that knowledge to the next generation.
I'm glad you spoke about the sacrifices also, because that's a thing for me now. Because like we say, in social media, people see the highlights, but they don't know what happens behind the scenes. So I think it's important for people to know that. For the people watching also, I mean, I'm sure there's people watching that maybe wants to start a business, miskien 'n auntie wat 'n koeksister business het, of wat miskien 'n mechanic is wat bang is om sy eie ding te begin. Like, what advice would you give to someone watching that wants to start it but they are afraid?
Yeah, I was on a long road with my girlfriend the other day to Atlantis to pick up a license, and I got 2 calls along the way, and people asking this sort of question all the time. I think what stops a lot of people is the fear. The biggest piece of advice I can give is just get it started. Prepare, yes, and be ready and make responsible decisions, of course. But if you don't start, you're never going to learn the important lessons along the way. Nothing is going to be perfect. You're never going to be 100% prepared for what's going to come. So go into it. Offer yourself, offer value to the client you want, and offer value to partners you want to work with. It doesn't necessarily have to be an immediate gratification. See the long-term picture of where you want to position yourself and build the way there. I don't think people use that vision enough, and once you start putting yourself in the right places, things happen. I like to use the term, that's when the magic happens. Growth, opportunity, credibility. People come to you rather than you chasing them all the time.
It's so true.
And when that happens, the world's your oyster, basically.
Beautifully said. Before we go to the Northern Brew, wil ek nog 'n laaste paar vrae van die suits is nog my ding. Ek is oor die suits. You also cater for ladies?
I cater for ladies.
You cater for ladies. How do you keep it fresh also with the...
So, because I've got a wide range of colors and
Yeah.
patterns, etc., I tend to offer more than the average tailor, so we can accommodate the crazy ideas. So, we live in the world of social media where people are pushing out nice trends, people come with that and add their own special touch to it. So, being able to accommodate those plans, I do great suits for weddings, that's my main market,
Yeah.
but also for that creative shoot. I love working with local creatives, but those who understand that there has to be fair value on the table.
Of course.
Too many people try to take the opportunity and say, look, I've got 10,000 followers, I'm bring new businesses to the suit.
Maar wil jy sê dat gaan business kom hè?
There's no guaranteed business with that, and people need to be professional in the exchange, right? Imagine I came to them and said, look, post this for free and I promise you all the suit orders are going to come through you. It's not the case. So
Exactly.
understand the collab you want
Yeah.
to do and make sure that the service provider you want to collab with, there's fair value both ways. So yeah, going on that note, we must do a suit for you one day.
And I thank you. Hashtag.
I saw the green suit.
It's recent.
I saw it.
Yes,
It's
and it
good.
was a hassle om het te krijgen. And I mean, someone was kind enough to help me out there. And I always wanted to do it. So now that I know, I mean, now I can definitely do that.
100%. I saw you in the music videos of the dancing and
Ja,
the
ons collab by
acting,
Sak.
we put the
Ons
whole
maak
talent
alles
there.
net so sound.
100%.
Even gepraat Northern Brew.
Northern
Maar
Brew.
Northern Brew was in die music video.
So I
ek
am-
het gevisit. Actually.
100%. Yeah, Northern Brew. I am a Northern Brew. I'm from Kuils River, and
Shout out.
that's also a serendipity moment. One of my wedding clients
Okay.
came to have a suit for me for his wedding, and then he found out I was in the marketing business. So I did the relook of his business, helped him with a bit of marketing, and then he called me one day, and I came to his house, and he gave me a glass of beer. I said, look, bro, I'm more of a whiskey guy, to be honest. I don't really like beer, but he just said, just taste it. I tasted it, and it was actually a very refreshing drink.
Okay.
The best beer I had to taste in terms of flavor, very accommodating. And he said, so I asked him, what's this all about? And he said, this is what I brewed at home. So he's a very passionate beer guy. He loves his craft beer, and that motivated him to kind of brew at home before the COVID trend happened.
Yes, of course.
So back then he said, look, I want to formalize this business, I want to take it to market, and I want you on board in terms of marketing.
Oh, wow.
So he saw the value I brought to the previous experiences we had, and that kind of motivated me to come on board as a partner. And Northern Brew started out in the garage 2 years ago, and now it's in over 20 retail stores and restaurants and bars in the Cape Town area. So we're very proud of that. It's an exciting business. It's a type of business that I've never been involved in because it's a long-term play. There's no immediate return. It's about building volume.
But you understand that, man.
100%. That's why I love learning.
Patience is key.
It's going to work out after 5 to 10 years, and it's going to be a solid brand that's going to give you a great return in terms of the beer quality as well as the brand quality.
Say me hoe balance jy, because I mean, I'm listening to you in all the stuff and I like the enthusiasm. I'm the same. Ek like involves and alles.
Yeah.
But how do you, maybe you can give me advice on how you balance doing everything.
Balancing is something that I struggled with.
Okay.
I overworked myself in the initial years, and I
Wow.
didn't take care of my health or maintain a relationship with my friends and family. They hardly saw me for birthdays, and that was a necessary hassle in the start, but with experience you tend to balance it out as you get older, or when you have the luxury of having a team around you and not doing everything yourself. So I started prioritizing time with family, time to rest my body and mind. It's not always possible, but take the opportunity when you're there. Also enjoy the luxuries of life. When you build business, we tend to business. Take a holiday, go away for a week when you can. Those are the memories you're going to miss out if you don't take them.
So true.
So when you ask me what were the 5 important things, that's number 2, because I realized I missed so many milestones. You don't always want to be missing when those moments come, no matter how far you grow or what you're doing. So I try to find that niche balance between putting enough effort to kind of lead the team and make sure business is running, but also take the time out to enjoy the good parts of life.
Awesome. And what would you say, what is the highlights to you so far on your journey that you've, as a entrepreneur?
I think, look, we spoke about I want to do videos and podcasts and things, and it's always been on the back burner. And I think I really held back on that because I wanted to come with something solid. I wanted to be a millionaire.
I know what you mean. You wanted to have
wanted something credible to show, look, I am a guy to listen to because of that. But so many times I talk to people, like we're having a
Yeah.
conversation now, and the reaction I get based on what I say is so overwhelming sometimes, and that motivates me to keep going. So that smile I get of a client when he puts on that suit, or when I help a client with the stress they've been going through with, and just a simple solution to
simplifying
turn it
their
around.
life.
I love those moments, those breakthrough moments. I prefer working with the small businesses rather than the large businesses, because the large businesses, they're fine. You're just a number in the machine there. But with the small businesses, you add a lot of value that's notable and that's rewarding, and it gives you that motivation to push through the hard times. I love the craft. I love being in the trenches and helping my clients get into.
Speaking about small businesses, if there's small businesses watching, how does it work? Do they contact you? How can you assist? How do you assist them?
So, a lot of people criticize me giving too much value away over the phone. So a lot of people text me, DM me, or they call me, just with a few ideas, and from there kind of formalizes.
Okay.
I'm not a guy that will just jump on board because you want me on board. If I can't add value, then I say, look, this is what you should do in my opinion, but here's this person, connect with that person. And I feel in 10 years' time, there's going to be so many small businesses that have started because of that.
But also your intention, man.
Yeah.
You don't do it. As it gaat net oor geld. Yes, you need to survive, but it's about actually want to see the other person grow.
100%. I think people will remember you for that instead of coming on board and soaking up money where that could have been used more strategically.
Well said. Sê maar hoe het COVID gemaakt? I mean, COVID affected all of us.
Yeah.
Did you...
Look, it gave a lot of time for self-reflection. I think it did, but it also gave me gratitude that I had multiple businesses or multiple income streams. I kind of highlighted that the traditional way of life of just being employed and earning a salary or going to university and getting a good job doesn't always work anymore. So this opportunity to start your small business, that's what I loved about COVID. I understand there was a lot of negatives.
Of course.
And we can't take it away.
But I like the positive. I
love the guy that started his own kitchen, his own restaurant, his takeaways place, or he started his own clothing designing company. There's a guy in Mitchell, I saw the story, and just seeing that inspiration coming through a dark time in our lives.
A lot of people started businesses in COVID.
It was the push of the ledge. They didn't have any other choice, and sometimes we make the best decisions for ourselves in those stressful moments. There were a lot of times before COVID even where I questioned myself, like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, these are big things you're doing, and if it goes wrong, your whole life is
What changed? What helps you though? Because we all have that moment.
I love what I do,
yes.
So I know I'm adding value in whatever I do. That sober decision making, despite the passion, is very critical in where I'm going. So
stunning.
The fact that I love it makes me work through the difficult times. They are difficult times. I mean, one proud moment I have with my girlfriend is she sat with me on a wedding order that didn't go according to plan very early on because of my production. Guys make mistakes. And I stayed up till midnight to make sure that it was sorted out for the next day.
Wow.
And the client really appreciated that. And
once again, sacrifices.
100%. Things do go wrong, but it's about turning those tough times into lessons and becoming a better business person in that situation.
Solid, man. Social media, waar kan die mense vir jou vang? Hulle moet vir jou vang.
I'm Mr. Gareth Duncan on most things. I'm even trying this TikTok thing. I'm not a fan, to be honest.
I'm also not great.
I've been trying, but Instagram, Facebook, that's where I'm mainly at. I'm taking the time to invest into my own social platforms now. So you'll see a new websites coming out for my businesses. My social media plans will be more out there. So hopefully you see me on the screen very soon.
Amazing, Gareth. Yeah. Well done. And thank you for inspiring us here today.
Thank you for coming and giving me an opportunity to speak.
Of course.
Hopefully there's a few people that will pick up a few lessons and motivate themselves to start their own business.
For sure. Thank you so much, people. Thank you for tuning in. This is Gareth. Make sure that you follow him, support him, and let's continue to support our own people.
We have to support each other.
Alipat. The show will be repeating on Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Cape Town TV channel 263 on DSTV. It's a vibe. Thank you so much for tuning in.